What's going on, guys? This is episode 8 of the TheDuoQ podcast. I'm SoX. This is Rev. What's good, y'all? First off, I want to say sorry about last week not having an episode. Both of us just didn't want to record an episode because Bo6 came out.
Wait. Let's put a hold on that one because I had to work fucking 16-hour shifts, and that's why I wasn't able to record a video earlier. The rest of
To
it
each,
was BO6, but we'll just
to
ignore
each
that.
their own. To each their own.
What?
How you doing?
You know, been doing all right. Got some things changing in Infamous Thieves. Got some movement going on, so pretty
Big
excited.
movement.
Pretty excited for the things going on right now. Been doing all right, just grinding BO6 pretty much on the weekends when I'm not working. So
So yeah, we've had a week to play Bo6, some more than others. Played that bitch for 36 hours the first
bruh.
weekend. What's your opinions on the game?
Um, I've been playing a lot of CMGs, eights, some pubs. I barely touch zombies at all because I'm busy doing other stuff. But the game itself feels smoother than any COD I've played before. It feels real smooth. There's some minor things that people are like blowing out of proportion.
Hmm.
They already said they were bringing new maps, so if your issue is maps, then they're bringing throwback maps, probably from BO4. BO4 maps in this game would feel elite. We got Vault and Skyline being the two best maps. I personally love Vault. Um, Got some spawn issues that they'll probably tweak. Idle sway, losing accuracy and jump shots, that sort of thing that you had the same problem in MW3, probably having to do with Infinity Ward's uh,
Fucking engine.
engine and stuff like that they're definitely going to change. I mean, it was changed last year in the beginning of the year as well. My problem specifically has been in Codcaster. There's a lot of bugs in Codcaster, same as there were last year. I don't know about stat tracking, which was the problem last year, but this time it's kind of like there's just a few random bugs like switching from player to player. Sometimes you can't switch to certain players until you start button mashing and accidentally get it, but just a few little random things with Codcaster and stuff like that. You got the black screen problem, stuff like that. So there's
Don't
just
even get me
some
started on
minor
that.
bugs. The problem that people have really been seeing is the map pool.
Yeah.
I honestly, people are saying like blowing it out of proportion, like these are the worst maps we've ever dropped with. That's just not true. We
No,
have
not at all.
we have two viable maps for both game modes. Protocol is viable. Um, Rewind is viable. Like we've got at least four maps that are viable for the game modes, which is almost less than we can say for the last three games. So I'm cool with whatever we've got going on. Matter of fact, Cold War, they had the worst like initial maps ever, and then they just replaced it with all BO2 maps. So I'm not worried at all, especially since they're
Has
dropping them soon.
do you know if Payback has been played at all? Or is
Payback's
it just a little bit too small?
Payback is played in certain scrims, but
Do
in
you think
my
it'll make it in?
opinion, it shouldn't. If you've got
Damn.
with MW3, if you have a map where you're just using 8 ARs, I think Ache said the same thing on the flank. If you have a map that's playing with 8 ARs, you should have a map that plays with 8 subs. So I wouldn't mind Payback being in the hardpoint map pool if you have a map that is using 8 ARs like Berkuda. You only see 8 ARs on that map. It's not a very good map. It's got its problems. If they remove
That
the
map is
wheel and they
fucking
change up
horseshit.
some of the hard points, you remove the wheel, and I think the map gets a whole lot better. But if you're gonna have a map like Berkuda in the rotation, you might as well have Payback too. at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna stay in. I don't even think Verkuta's gonna stay in. So,
I hope not. That map's fucking garbage.
um, yeah. Red card is worse. Red card is a
Oh,
hundred times worse.
100%.
Red card is a terrible map. I will say that. Red card is awful. So,
Yeah, it's my personal opinion. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. Gunplay's amazing. Fucking movement's amazing. It feels like a solid game. It's just the maps weren't what we expected. But you also got to remember, people fucking hated last year when the maps were dropped, and we played those maps before.
mm.
Where people are hating, I feel like most of the hate is just because they're not bigger maps. But when we did get bigger maps, they were hated on. So it's kind of like one of those win-lose situations.
It's the beginning of the game. You're gonna see more ARs than subs because people haven't figured out the routes, the timings, anything like that. So it's going to be weird. The spawns are going to feel very off, even if they're not. So it's kind of hard to tell if they are and how bad they are. There are some weird splits and stuff like that that you get that make no sense, but it'll be figured out and tweaked little by little, and you'll start figuring out. And I think some of the concerns will start dying down. Like I said, you're gonna get those old maps coming into the rotation. I think. So I think November 14th is the date that was mentioned for an update.
That's season one.
Yeah. So hopefully we get the new maps then. I know they were talking about coming out with ranked early in season one instead of around January, February ish, where season one reloaded will be probably. So hopefully we get everything coming out. Um, the
I
tournaments have
I don't
been
agree with that.
what?
I don't agree with that. It's Call of Duty at the end of the day. I think that it's gonna be season one reloaded. I'm hoping I get proven wrong, but it's Call of Duty at the end of the day.
What you're forgetting is this is a Treyarch title. This
Oh,
isn't an
trust me.
Infinity Ward title.
I
Treyarch
hope
has
I
been
get
working
proven
on it for
wrong.
years. I have faith. I have faith, unlike other people that are just like. Some people are complaining about this game so much. It's ridiculous. The game feels perfect. It's got its small problems, but it's completely fine. There's one broken gun in the game. The rest are like viable. Um, the Model L, rightful ban on that one. Rightful GA. And that thing 3 bullets every kill. So get that one out of here. But everything feels pretty balanced. There's multiple subs people are running right now, multiple ARs, while they're weaseling them down a little bit and GAing more. We'll talk about that a little later though. Um,
Mm.
so everything's got its problems, needs its tweaks or whatever, but this is every COD, and the CODs that we've seen before have had a whole lot more problems. So I don't know why people are getting bent out of shape about this. This is probably the most polished game we've had in 5 years. So,
Honestly, yeah.
yeah, I don't know why people are losing their minds over this. You're gonna play it at the end of the day. Probably stop complaining. Just put out the problems that you're having. And a lot of those devs are doing a great job responding and putting out information on what they're doing and when they're going to do it. So,
But I mean, that's always been Treyarch devs.
mhm.
Always been responsive to the community, responsive to the fucking pro players and whatnot. That's like people who say that Infinity Ward is the better studio, faded as fuck.
Yeah, Infinity Ward blatantly will bring all the pros players to say what they like, don't like about the game, and then just ignore their opinions in the end and just do the complete opposite and do whatever they think is going to accrue more money or whatever you want to say. But Treyarch has done a phenomenal job over the years of listening and inputting some of those opinions. um, Sledgehammer did a great job last year. Obviously, it ended up ramping down their involvement, really, which it happens in every COD. As soon as you fix those game breaking bugs, they focus on other things, or they're told to focus on other things, stuff like that. I think the biggest problem we've seen, studio wise and not game wise, there are problems with maps. Maps aren't the best right now. Maps haven't been the best in years. And what you can say about that is probably having to do with Warzone, the door breaking, everything being wall bangable, all these things they're trying to do. I mean, if you look at the outer layouts of some of these maps, you see all these buildings and everything that's taking up all this memory, making your ping worse because it's trying to your graphics are trying to capture everything outside of that small map because everything is part of a bigger map, which is the Warzone map, and that's the problem that you see
Hmm.
with the last few games is they're trying to make everything tie into Warzone and just building off of Warzone. It's a terrible idea. It's tanked your game for years, but you're just gonna fucking sit there and be like, well, Warzone is our moneymaker or whatever. You know, it is what it is. Um, that's the problem, and I think that's the biggest problem with what they call level design, just map design. They call it level
Yeah.
design. I think a lot of these top designers are all focused on Warzone, and they have all been focused on Warzone, and so there's very little energy going into the actual comp slash multiplayer side of things, and I think that's what you're seeing the ramifications of, and having these bad maps, and I think you're just seeing that. They've done it for years. If you go to Warzone when the map drops or whatever, you see all these. Oh, that's familiar. I wonder why. It's because they're just building these maps around the map and just taking a giant Warzone map and cutting it out into sections, which is a terrible idea.
Have you seen what the Warzone map is supposed to look like this year?
I've seen the layout, but I haven't seen everything else.
So, Verdansk is coming back.
Mm,
There's a Rebirth uh map coming back, but the actual Warzone map looks just like fucking Blackout.
yeah. Which isn't a bad thing in my opinion. Blackout
It's
was the
an
best
amazing
rendition.
thing.
Yeah, Blackout was the best rendition of a
BR from COD.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm not
It's got
necessarily excited about Warzone, but I usually play it. So
got Hacienda fucking Studio, or I
mm,
think they have it as Firing Range. I can't remember which one it was. It's just a lot of the POIs are old COD maps.
yeah, and bringing a Hacienda to this game would be phenomenal. Bringing a
Please.
Hacienda to this game would be game breaking. Everyone would start loving the game. I promise you. You get two good maps added, and everybody starts liking them. This game is gonna go from it's not as good as Cold War to like it's the best COD ever. Like that's how it's gonna work with these people's minds. Like there's always gonna be some haters of it or some weird kids that are always on IW's fucking meat riding that shit. Bro, IW sucks. Their maps suck. Their devs suck. I'm a perennial IW hater, just like most people. MW19, worst game ever. Talk to me about it. I don't care.
Bro.
So there's been talks. I don't know everything on it. I'm kind of behind because I've been working so much that they're talking about having online tournaments that they're calling minor tournaments. Back in the day, they used to just run a bunch of online tournaments throughout the year. There was no league matches or anything like that. It was just minor tournaments throughout the year, and then you got your majors.
What,
Um,
it was like 2Ks and 5Ks
yeah,
they
yeah,
were called, right? Ah,
yeah.
okay.
2Ks, 5Ks, stuff like that. These would be phenomenal. People don't like online COD, whatever, whatever. The league matches are cheese and corny. Um, I don't like
And
that format.
it don't even fucking bring in viewership.
Yeah, they don't bring in that much viewership. Having tournaments is the way to go, and more tournaments is better. Online, on land doesn't matter. More tournaments is better for COD. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited to see some of how these tournaments play out, and to be honest, a lot of the pros are probably excited as well. Back in the day, let's say AW, where they had, I mean, like 15 tournaments throughout the year. I mean, that's a good year. And I think some of these players can start getting a lot more tournaments under their belt to make their legacies a lot bigger. When you see someone like Krim with 38 tournament wins, and you see someone like Simp who doesn't get like the same number of opportunities. Obviously, you had years that had less tournaments that we have now.
Hmm.
Like there was years where 3 tournaments and stuff like that, but we also had AW, which had like 15. So to get these other pros, these new pros coming in and being able to get chances to win more tournaments and put their stock higher, get their legacy up, maybe reach a little higher and GOAT status, whatever it may be. I think it's a really good look, and I think they'd be excited about that as well because at the end of the day, you're competing to be the best. So those tournaments do matter. So I'm excited to see that.
I just wish we would be able to go back to the season that we were supposed to have for MW 2019. All of the tournaments, the home series, just not on MW 2019 though. Get
Yeah.
that shit the fuck on out of here. But if you can give me like, again, we were running fucking shit from like December 1st until fucking August.
Mm.
Like,
The the MW 2019 season, the way they planned it out was impossible in a sense. Even without COVID, it would have broke the bank.
oh, dude, it's
Going
not even the bank.
to
It would have brought players.
yeah, going to foreign countries every month and just yeah,
Not
that's
even every
not a
month, every other weekend on a
yeah,
weekend, pretty much.
yeah, that's a bit ridiculous and blown out of proportion, but just I mean, what's this major in? Barcelona. We have Barcelona this year.
Yep.
That's being
Major ones in Barcelona.
yeah, that's being hosted by Ultra because they're owned by KOI ownership, which is the other Spanish. Um, well, they're partially owned by KOI, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd to see that Heretics aren't hosting
I
it, but
I originally thought it was Heritage hosting Barcelona and then Toronto hosting Champs.
no. I believe that they're hosting the Barcelona major as well. So there is a
But
major coming back to Chicago.
yes, give me that shit immediately,
Um,
bro. We originally thought it was Champs at first. That would have been even better.
that might have been a little
Yeah.
cheese.
Well, how?
You know, Hex is going out and bringing the drums back.
Ah, shit. We got drum cheese.
Drum cheese. I mean, they're going back to
Hometown.
Chicago. Yeah, hometown cheese. Hex is going all out for Chicago. You know that.
Hey, all I gotta say is if Toronto wins champs, fucking I would better see the same hate that Opta got.
Toronto ain't winning champs. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I know. But being from Chicago, I think it's amazing to actually have COD back in Chicago. Because the last time we were supposed to have COD in Chicago was that 2019 season,
Hmm.
and all that got fucked over by fucking COVID.
Yeah.
So before then, I can't even remember when the last time we've had a Chicago event.
Hmm. Um.
It, it's needed. Everything's always along the fucking coast and shit.
Yeah.
We need some more Midwest shit.
That's facts. That's facts. I'll probably pull up to Chicago, being in Michigan. It's close. Last time I had to go to Texas, so that was a long trip. But I can probably just drive a few hours to Chicago. That'll be nice. So looking forward to that. Although I might not be able to drive there because my car is dead. My car is
you,
dead.
you need me to come pick you up?
I might need you to scoot, bro. My car has 8K in damages, and these are old damages, and I've been waiting on them for like a year because I knew it was going to be hefty, and I just started accruing more issues, and now it's bad. It was going to be bad initially either way, but it's not looking good for me. Yeah.
Alright, next topic we had Zuma, the GOAT, the one that should have been nominated for an esports awards.
Facts.
He's put on some tournaments for the CDL boys.
Yeah, you know, he always does these flank invitationals and stuff like that where they do wheel spins and they get like the AR duo, the sub duo, and I think there's been like one or two a year. But this year there's three so far, and evidently, they're teasing at another one. They're not saying anything about it. They just teased at it a little bit. But the first one was the ARs and the subs duoing up together. Obviously, you can't have more than two CDL players on the same team because there's a little problem with that due to the CDL side, which is
Give
stupid.
us fucking kickoff tournament.
It's stupid, but it's fun at the same time seeing these players play with each other rather than
Right.
going against each other all the time, just squadding up with their team. So I love to see it, especially Zuma getting creative with it. So you saw Scrap, Ghosty, the best AR duo in the league probably, and you saw Tej and Gwen. So they won, and they talked a lot. I think they beat Draza in the grand finals.
Of
So that
course, they fucking
there
did.
was a lot of yapping going on. I believe this is Scrap's third flank tournament win in a row. So Scrap is king of the flank tournaments. That's a fact. They've got two more
Want to
coming
get
up.
Scrap on your team?
This one was for 25K. The one going on that they just drafted, it's literally going on right now. They wheel spun for
As a recording.
yesterday. Yeah. So all right, so this last one was 25. The one going on currently as we're recording is 25, and the last one is 50. Okay. So there was some talks about doing a draft, like a snake draft sort of concept. I would love to see that for the last one. This time it was an AR and a sub from the team. That's what you saw in Wheelspins. So that was cool to see, especially seeing as how there are two Optic Phase duos. Optic Phase just split off into two halves and came together. And AG and Celium decided they're going to put on their voice changers for some comms.
That's good content. I can't
That's
even
good
lie.
content.
Fucking amazing
Watching
content.
that is going to be phenomenal. If you don't know, AG and Celium play in the Zoo Mafia GTA RP server, and they play each other. So hearing AG
RP each
calm
other.
as Celium and Celium calming as AG is going to be phenomenal. I've already seen some clips. It's great. Can't wait to watch that back. So,
Yep. Also, Crimson.
all right. So Crim Six teamed up with Scrap and going with the Toronto boys, which is funny
Some big shit
because
too.
yeah, they might be running back some of that Toronto synergy, some of that chemistry. Scrap might get four in a row at this point. Who knows? Um,
Look, I seen a clip on Twitter. Crimson's killed Slasher. Was talking that bitch shit, talking about how are you a pro? The man still got it.
He's still got it. He's always gonna have it.
That's
Fit
a
six.
goat.
We're calling him Fit Six now. That guy is he's getting up there. He
Yeah.
lost all that weight, got healthy real quick. So he's
Hey,
grinding.
what you got to do to become a race car driver?
He's still the goat. Another thing with the flank tournaments is Zuma is also. Oh, we didn't talk about this actually. Um, the Saudi team could not play in the first tournament, so FC Black was subbed into that 12th spot, and FC Black, they came real close with Optic and FaZe. They were
Yeah.
shooting back. They took the first hard point. They got kind of full sailed. There was one map in between, but pretty much a full sail in the S&D. So they ended up losing it, but they looked good. I mean,
FaZe Blad's gonna be a team to be watched. This challenger team,
it's 18
challenger
and
team.
cracked, and then Phantoms. I mean, Phantoms has been a great player in challengers for years. So cut that out. Cut that out. I don't know if he's been in there for years. I know he was. I know. I hold on. I know he was in challengers last year,
hmm
but I don't know if he was in before that. Okay.
Just say that he was a good player last year.
Yeah. So you got a bunch of 18-year-olds just coming in for their like third or fourth LAN or whatever it may be for like encourage um to the challenger season. You got Phantoms coming in. He was really good last year. Lurks looks phenomenal. I mean, that guy's cracked. They were gassing him up on the stream and everything. He was making some crazy plays, popping two, three. it was great to see. I'm really excited to watch challengers this year, specifically for FC Black. I mean, Zuma's doing crazy things in the pro scene. He's doing crazy things in the challenger scene. It's just a great thing to see.
Zuma's just a go to content,
He
honestly.
is. He is. Um,
No, I think this having them get reps against like the pros because obviously they were able to sit together because they're going up against CDL teams.
mhm,
I think it's gonna benefit them really well come the season time
mhm.
that they got those reps to where who knows they might fucking make a run for champs.
Yeah, challengers players are usually in the know in the beginning of the games. They're usually toe to toe with some of the pro teams until the pro teams pick it up and just obliterate them.
Yep.
But the real thing here is the Falcons not being in the U.S. yet and not being able to partake in some of these tournaments. They're losing out on so much needed practice. You're already coming in with zero experience, even in NA challengers. You've been playing EU challengers. You only won one online cup, and now you're just going into the deep end, and you can't even get practice and reps in kickoff tournaments against pros. This might be a terrible. This might be the worst season we're gonna see out of a team. I mean, it.
Look, I put it like this. I said that they were gonna contend with that Paris Legion team of being like 2-14.
Yeah.
I don't think they win a fucking. I don't think they win at all online and or not online. Fuck. I don't think they win at all on land. Like and whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But I think they might sneak one match out.
How Heretics had that like terrible run of not winning a map in like 3 lands. You're gonna see something worse. You're gonna see something so bad. You're not gonna see them win a map for
I think
four
they're.
majors.
I think they're breaking the record
They could
for
very well
of
break the
Boston.
record.
I think they break Boston's what was it individual map record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they break records this year. Not good records, but
Not good
they break
records.
them.
They break some records, not some good ones, but they'll break them. Um,
Unless they decide to say fuck it and go get challenger play.
yeah. In with Zuma's tournaments, he's also like super open about how he last year he took over being the GA commissioner. He was the ref, and he got snaking out last year. So he's done a phenomenal job. Obviously, the pros can't do it, so why not have a retired one do it, right? That's what Nadeshot's been saying for years. Why don't you get a couple retired guys that have played the game and like know what's best for it, and then have them talk it out
Committee,
with you
right?
guys, have a committee, and figure things out. That's the best for the community. And that's kind of what's going on. I know Accuracy hopped in there too with Zuma, so it's looking like that's exactly what's going to happen. Hopefully for years to come, but they were talking about some of the things they wanted to GA um, on stream, going through the GA chat and stuff like that. Last year was a bit more pushy because snaking is bad for COD. That's a known thing. It used to be frowned upon severely in the earlier years. You could do it in COD. You trust me, you could do it, but it was just super frowned upon, and now they don't care and they just do it because they think they get an advantage and they're going to abuse it. And last year Zuma shut that down very fast by airing everybody out. Nobody liked it, but a couple people were like trying to abuse that fact and use it anyways, and Zuma aired them all out on live streams. So that was phenomenal to see them all get peer pressured into making the right decision for once. So
Shout out Vancouver. Shout
yeah.
out New York.
Yeah, so um, you've been seeing some GA chat stuff go down, and a lot of these things are getting out early. Um, CMG has banned some things. There's been some skeptical things going on with the XM4. It was initially came out that it was GA'd, and then I think Kenny came out and said it's just GA'd for now. They're kind of looking into other things right now.
And why
Um,
can't we just have a broken fucking game? Like all the guns broken. Everything can beam. Just fucking run it.
um,
See who can shoot better.
well, the thing is when you're seeing 8 ARs on the map, most people don't want to see that. I think that's the biggest problem with people that have in the CMG pro scene comp in general. You don't want to see 4 ARs. You want to be able to run a sub. It's not possible on certain maps. It's not going to happen. Hopefully they can fix up those maps so it will be able to happen. And also subs have like the hardest learning curve out of any position you could call it. It's not really positions anymore. There's no real
Bro.
flex main. Although the GPR should be the flex gun. I don't know why we're sitting here just running two of the same AR. Bring flex back. Make flex great again.
Oh God.
Make flexes great again.
That's gonna be a clip somewhere.
Yeah, we need the GPR as the flex gun. I mean, it feels like you're in BO4. I swear. Um, it feels like the Maddox. It feels
Yeah, it
phenomenal.
feels
It feels
really good.
fast. So I think you run that. If you want to use AMES or XM4 for the main, you do it. I love the XM4. That thing is busted, but I love it.
Gun
Right.
shit.
So for ARs, they're running the AMES right now. Some doing the GPR. I think you main either the XM4 or the AMES. You put somebody on a GPR, and the sub that's being used is either the PP or the Jackal. I haven't seen very many C9. The C9 is like super good up close and terrible from anywhere farther than 20 meters. So you're going to see a couple of subs get switched back and forth. I mean, they look pretty balanced. The XM4 has zero recoil at all with 8 attachments. It's ridiculous. They're also getting Gunfighter out of there. They're trying to GA Gunfighter, or they already did.
That's no bueno.
I don't think that's a good idea because you still have perk greed, right? So
Hmm.
the trade off of having a gun that's already good with 5 attachments and just wanting to put 8 attachments is losing a perk. That's a good dynamic. That's a phenomenal dynamic that you should keep in the game. It adds a little bit of uniqueness to it. Either you pick 4 perks, or you pick 8 attachments. It's one or the other. I think that you can use that and it be like viable. You don't have to GA the 8 attachments or whatever because there is a big trade off. You've seen another GA out of the reinforced barrel.
I don't agree with that.
Whether it's going to happen or not, because I think it's not concrete right now.
Is it a CMG GA or is it like
No,
pro
no,
talking
it
about?
wasn't put out on CMG. It was a pro conversation about GAing the reinforced barrel. So I don't think the reinforced barrel is that broken. I mean, gain and twist is bullet velocity, reinforces bullet velocity and damage range.
Need you to
Bring hit
talk.
scan back, bro. Why bullet velocity, bro? Bring hit scan back at least for subs. I mean, make the game balanced. Bring it back for subs. You don't need bullet velocity in this game. It's so stupid. Another thing that Warzone is affecting in comp is this bullet velocity. What happened in BO4 when you made the SOG bullet velocity? It was terrible in the beginning. It was
So
awful. And what happened when you made it hit scan? It was one of the best guns in the game, if not the best, outside of the Maddox. And the ICR was pretty up there, but it was very good. It was balanced. It was a balanced game, gun wise. So bring back hit scan. It's so ridiculous that we don't have that in the game. It's an
can't wait till it
arcade.
out.
It's an arcade shooter. It's an arcade shooter. Crim6 had a rant on idle sway the other day. He's right. It is an arcade shooter with idle sway and bullet velocity and losing accuracy when you jump shot. It's
This ain't
ridiculous.
CS.
This is not CS, bro. The smokes, they're trying to make the smoke spread out across the map and be unpredictable. They suck.
Oh, that shit's fucking
They
horrible.
suck.
These
You
fucking maps
had
getting GA'd this
you
year.
had half the game right by making it an arcade shooter, and then you decided, well, IW's engine doesn't go with arcade shooter. We have these default things like bullet velocity and all this. It's garbage, bro. Just make it an arcade shooter like it's always been. So yeah, you've seen people running the AMES and possibly adding bullet velocity instead of damage range. You're probably going to see that barrel get banned too at this point.
At this point, we're just gonna be running stock AR.
Yeah, stock
We're
ARs.
throwing the scope on it and calling it a day.
I think GAing everything right now is preemptive.
You know what I
But
am surprised that I haven't seen anyone say about GAs is the fucking recoil spring.
yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that.
I'm like 98% sure it is gonna get GA'd,
Probably.
but as of right now, I haven't seen anyone talking about it. And I'm really fucking surprised.
In my opinion, it's probably because overpressured rounds exist. Overpressured rounds are the other possible attachment you could put in that slot, which also adds, what do you guess? Bullet velocity. Yeah. So while all the pros are trying to make their guns more hit scan based by adding bullet velocity, why don't you just make the game hit scan based, right? You're already trying to achieve that with every attachment that you put on a gun has something to do with bullet velocity. Obviously, there's a problem, and you can just fix that. But recoil springs, you do have a good point. It's a bit cheese for an AR to be able to be stationary, not move the right stick at all, and be able to shoot straight.
I like that.
Bring the old guns back to where it was that shit bounced like a stripper, bro. Like
can't keep that in.
I'm just playing.
Nah, just say it.
No, I'm not gonna.
Leaving it.
We're gonna leave that in. All right, man.
We're leaving it.
All right,
Fucking
you
run it.
All right, man. All right. So some more CMG bans. You got the Tanto had a blueprint ban. You got tracer rounds being banned, which happened in Cold War. Cold War tracer rounds were banned. Flashbangs banned. Thank you for banning flashbangs. That hurts my eyes so much. I put it on inverted, and now it's a shock every time I get hit, and I'm like, did my game just bug out? No, it's back.
Did my game crash?
Yeah. So flashbangs suck. They last forever. It's a guaranteed kill. It is a guaranteed kill. In trophies this year, they take a little bit longer to get, but they take 4 tacks a trophy, unlike last year. So you'll probably only see 2 trophies on the map. We need.
They also take forever to throw out too.
Yeah, we need. They don't. People are saying they're overpowered. If you put them in the right place, I think the radius is a bit off compared to other years.
The radius is smaller than it was.
Yeah, I think so. My opinion on this is with the equipment. There needs to be something other than a trophy that's viable. You need to have something other than that viable. Another thing that we didn't mention with the game, dead silence is... If you don't have dead silence, I can hear you from literally across the map without sound EQ. And if you have dead silence, if you're 20 meters away from me, I can still hear you without sound EQ. It's not that hard. I mean, it's ridiculous. We need dead silence back. And if you need to have 2 trophies and you want to have your 2 subs with a dead silence equipment as well as the perk, do that. Add that. I'd rather that in the game than just being able to hear everyone. I mean, I'm not... My ears are kind of messed up, so I'm not hearing all that. But I'm getting literally running around in CMGs. I'm getting pre-fired because somebody just hears something 10 feet behind them. They do a fucking 180, and they're just pre-firing me, and it's ridiculous. So we need to get that out of here. Also... Another thing that was a Cold War specific problem, I don't know what's going on with Treyarch in this sense, the ping-based hit reg, the lag comp, is ridiculous. I felt like I was shooting better on a Spanish server than I was on my own host. I mean, I'm at 12 ping on my own host. I'm shooting through these motherfuckers, getting no hit reg. I'm on a Spanish server, and I feel like fucking Superman. It's ridiculous. We need to fix this. And that's why you need to get bullet velocity out of the game. It doesn't make it much better.
Hit rate.
Yeah, it's... It's unfortunate, but hopefully they fix the problem. I have faith. I have faith that they'll try to do some things.
I
So
just
yeah,
need Treyarch to tell Infinity Ward, fuck you. You're not touching our game.
yeah.
You don't have power over us. It's our game. Go fuck yourself.
I will say with the GAs, people are blowing it out of proportion so much, right? So
I don't think we had GAs this early last year.
we we
Oh,
no we did.
oh,
We had
not
a
even a week
couple.
into the game?
We had a couple. We had a couple. But it wasn't this crazy. With getting attachments specifically, attachments is usually mid-cycle of the game where you start after major one, you start seeing like this thing is OP, we need to take it out. Usually that's when you see attachments getting banned. So them getting knocked off this early is a bit odd. The good bans I will say are the auto pistol, the Grakova or whatever it is.
Oh,
That needed to be banned. That was the best gun in the game outside of the Model L and the flashbangs. Those three needed to be out. Glad they're out. XM4 should have been in the game still, and there's some controversy going on with that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't keep it.
yeah,
I
I was
don't
about to
like the
say that.
AMS as much as I like the XM4. That's a fact. I switched to main AR this year. I need that XM4 back. I'm an XM4 merchant, always have been. I'll get kills with the AMES, but you look like a brick sometimes running around with that thing. So I'd rather have
Yeah,
the XM4 at the end of the
I'm
day.
I'm currently working on my ARs to get cameras and whatnot.
XM4 was the first one I got gold.
Yeah, and man, I'm telling you, using that fucking AMES, because that's what I'm on right now to get diamond, that shit.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but you don't move at all.
Yeah, but the fact that you're still trying to nerf a AR that is mid tier, that it is like right below OP, and it's just pretty balanced. It's a balanced gun overall. So why try to GA attachments already? That doesn't make sense to me. Um, you saw Shotzi start putting on a vertical grip on his jackal. That thing does not move with a vertical grip on it. So we're getting ahead of ourselves. I think maybe Study or Nameless said it, but it's gonna happen in Octane, I believe. It's gonna happen in like a couple weeks. We're gonna have all these ARs banned down to the worst AR possible. And the subs, you're gonna realize how to run routes with them and your timings on them, and you're just gonna see 3 subs on the map, which is also a good idea. Having more subs is a better idea than having more ARs. It's always a more fun game if you have it that way.
Mhm.
Pros go back and forth with it. The problem in the beginning was the ARs were coming out and saying that the ARs were busted too. That was surprising to me. Usually you see a lot of banter back and forth about how how broken the other gun is. ARs are always trashing on subs. Your gun is broken. Subs are always trashing on ARs. Your gun's broken. Last year, it was phenomenal to see that happen. But in all reality, the MCW was the best gun in the game. The rival wasn't close. Obviously, the maps played a part in that. In the biggest part, obviously, the rival was not that bad. But
There's the range on each map.
But the delusion to say that the MCW is so underpowered compared to the rival was ridiculous seeing last year. And now we're going the complete opposite direction where you're just throwing yourself under the bus. In my opinion, the ARs weren't that broken. It was more balanced than last year because the maps are a little better, like size wise. But again, the
Yeah.
maps you got Verkuda and stuff like that, where you got these long angles on 15 headies across the map, and you're just trying to rip someone off a heady for 15 minutes. So
It's not
that's your
fucking
issue.
fun.
It's not fun. It's not
Bermuda
fun.
is the worst fucking map I've ever seen. It's up there
Yeah.
with Piccadilly.
And you always see 3 people up on that wheel for no reason whatsoever. Nobody's playing hill. It literally hardpoint right now. It always happens. Hardpoint's going down. It's not even hitting 200 right now. Like games are ending at like 178 to 150. It happens in the beginning of game cycles, but it's just ridiculous to see like 3 ARs posted up on the same heady, just trying to rip people from across the map. It is not an arcade shooter at that point.
Nah, that shit lame
So.
as hell.
So next episode 9, we're gonna come in and we're gonna overlook all the or look over all the teams and compare our assumptions on the teams based on the solidified rosters. We couldn't necessarily do it this video because not all of the teams are announced yet somehow, even though they're playing in tournaments. That's great.
Shout out
Seattle,
them if you're leaking.
yeah, Seattle literally just put out their announcement video yesterday. That was great. Like, I don't understand why we're doing that now. Yeah, hopefully these guys announce their rosters, and then if not, either way, we're just gonna go over the rosters that are supposed to be happening.
Rumored.
Yeah, rumored, even though they're solidified already.
Right.
We'll go over that in the next episode. So stay tuned next week, and we'll compare and see what we got wrong and what we got right. Little
I got a
leak,
lot wrong.
little leak here. I got some right. I'm just putting that out there right now, and we're gonna go over and see exactly what that is.
Alright, guys, that's been episode 8 of the TheDuoQ podcast. Thank you again for sticking around, watching us fucking yap this whole time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Thieves will be having an announcement already posted by the time this is out. You guys just want to go slide over to the Infamous Thieves Twitter account, INF Thieves. Go show some love. If you want to follow me or Rev, our link trees will be down below in the description, or as you can read, it's right above him. If you want to follow the TheDuoQ podcast Twitter account, that will also be in the description. But yeah,
Yeah,
right over the Thieves account.
don't forget to hit that notification bell, right? Hit that bell. You want to see our beautiful faces as soon as you possibly can. Hit that bell.
Not too much money.
Hit that bell.
But yeah, I'm talking to you, chat. I'm gonna need y'all to lock in on the Twitters. Only got 36 followers. What are we doing?
Gotta get that up. Gotta get that up.
Lock in.
Head over, slide us a follow. You know, it doesn't take too much time. You know.
Y'all gonna see what we got cooking up.
Yeah. Support.
Type shit. Love y'all.
See ya.